Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash is no stranger to causing commotion on live television. I had previously covered the time a very drunk Slash and Duff McKagan attended the 1990 American Music Awards and swore repeatedly on live television. But today, let's talk about the time Slash, strangely enough, appeared on a children's program and talked about sex and used profanity, resulting in the show apologizing for the guitarist's behavior and cutting his interview segment short and removing his interview from any future replays. That's what we're going to discuss in today's video. Back in December of 2000, Slash was promoting his second Snake Pit album, Ain't Life Grand, and the guitarist had left Guns N' Roses 4 years prior in 1996, but that didn't stop interviewers from asking him incessantly about his former band and bandmates. On top of that, the guitarist was still heavily into partying and drugs, and as part of the promotion for Ain't Life Grand, Slash flew to the UK to appear on a children's program at the time named cite UK. The show was primarily a music program that would interview the biggest pop stars of the time, while also doing a summary of the most popular songs in the country. The show would feature the comedy team of Ant and Dec alongside Cat Deeley, who later appeared on So You Think You Can Dance. Getting back to the Slash interview, the guitarist had literally stepped off a plane and was probably suffering from jet lag, with the interviewer asking him about the future of Guns N' Roses, a sore subject for the top-hatted guitarist at this point in his career. Perhaps it set the tone for how the rest of the interview would go, because after the Guns N' Roses questions, things went quickly off the rails, as you can see here.
Is finished?
Yeah, I split from Guns N' Roses like, 5 years ago?
But see, we're all having like just a little bit of a glimmer of hope that maybe, could it happen, might it happen?
It's one of those things, not in the foreseeable future that I can tell you. I'd be lying if I told you.
And you would tell me, right? You would let me into the secret, wouldn't you?
I mean, I hang out with the guys and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Axl since I quit. I think that was one of the major things. I've been doing so much other stuff since then, so it hasn't really been a thought. You know?
Fantastic.
And that's the truth, I mean, because all these rumors have been going around, and that's what GNR was like. It was just a culmination of rumors.
Yeah.
You know?
What's the worst rumor you've ever had? The most untrue or most ridiculous rumor? Because you must have had them.
Getting a blowjob in a bar.
We're musically on from that.
It didn't get finished, so
Well, let's move on to emails, shall we?
All right.
Let's go on to emails. This one's from Billy from McKinley from Scotland, and he says, when's the last time you spoke to Axl Rose?
Like I said, five and a half years ago.
Actually. This next one's from Robbie Freegard from Hemel Hempstead, and he says, you collect reptiles and snakes as a hobby. Have you ever been badly bitten, and how many do you have?
I just did, actually. I
Show.
just got the stitches out. No, you can't really see it.
Oh.
It's actually healing pretty good, but I came home from the road about a month ago, I guess it was, and I came home and I have my iguana. I have a big rhino iguana out in the back.
Which is how big? How big are we talking?
Not that big.
Whoa.
It's huge.
In your house?
He's in the house, but I had him in the backyard, and he was loose, and he tried to take off, and basically he was set for going down La Cienega Boulevard, and so I grabbed him by the tail, and he turned around and bit the fuck out of me.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Terrible.
Thanks, Kat, and I must apologise on behalf of everybody here at CDK for any comments used during the interview there. Sorry about that. Now the next up, Agenda.
It was following the interview that the BBC published a story about Slash's appearance on the kids show that read, and I quote, Slash embarrasses cite UK. The show would put out a statement that read, cite UK unreservedly apologizes for any offensive comments made by Slash. During this morning's interview, cite UK cut the interview short, and Slash was dropped from a further item in the show. He will also be edited out of the repeat. cite UK, for its part, would be on the air for another 5 to 6 years. In January of 1990, the American Music Awards aired on ABC. That night, Guns N' Roses were nominated for 2 awards, both of which they won. Even though their debut record, Appetite for Destruction, was released in 1987, they were still nominated for the album 3 years later in 1990. One nomination was for Favorite Heavy Metal Hard Rock Album, which saw them go up against Aerosmith and Skid Row, 2 bands which they would tour with, and the other nomination was for Favorite Heavy Metal Hard Rock Artist, which saw them go up against Motley Crue and Skid Row. In attendance that night to represent Guns N' Roses was guitarist Slash and bassist Duff McKagan. From the moment the pair hit the red carpet, it was obvious they were heavily under the influence. The show was being broadcast live, so when Slash and Duff took to the stage heavily under the influence, the top-hatted guitarist unleashed a barrage of profanities, as you can see here.
Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
What do we say? All right. So listen, we didn't even expect this. It's like you said come down, hang out at the show and stuff. So we thought we'd come down and hang out. It'd be 2 hours, we'd hang out and shit.
Have a drink on us. Thank you very much.
Guns N' Roses.
What do we say? All right. Listen, I want to say a couple things I didn't get to say last time, right? I want to thank fucking... Oops. All right.
Doug Goldstein, Alan Niven.
All right, listen, Tom Zutop for finding us, Alan Niven for fucking getting us there, Doug Gold.
Of course, things didn't just end there. When Duff and Slash were whisked backstage to talk to the press, more hilarity ensued, as you can see here.
Your audience's perception of you, what they think of you.
They think we drink a lot, they think we slam a lot of drugs, they think this, they think that. It's this big media thing, right? It's all your guys' fault.
That's why I can't get a girlfriend either.
No.
Can I get some?
That's very funny. There's no bar here.
Funny, like peculiar, or like funny?
We're drinking wine. It's a very fine wine, but...
Fetzer, I think.
Yeah, man.
Sincerity.
We hang out, we go in, we jam, we hang out. It's like... And we listen to rap records, and now we're doing this stuff, you know? Our audience is the only thing that made us happen.
You think about when...
Geffen's great and stuff, but...
You think about when, like, you're 15 and 16 and stuff, and when you're influenced by... Like when I was 15, Aerosmith and blah, blah, blah. So you think, how's a song going to affect a kid?
So what was the reaction of ABC, which broadcast the award show? Well, they claimed they were hit with numerous viewer complaints following the award ceremony, and according to author Stephen Davis, who wrote the book Watch You Bleed, he would claim that Dick Clark, whose production company was behind the American Music Awards, was furious, and the profanity-laden speech made the papers in New York and Los Angeles. According to the Stephen Davis book, Guns N' Roses then manager Alan Niven was summoned to their label Geffen Records office and told to get better control over his band or they'd be dropped from the label. In 1991, Slash would be interviewed by Rolling Stone magazine, who brought up that appearance at the award show. The guitarist said the following about the incident. "What happened was I got a call the day of the show asking if I wanted to go. Someone from the band needed to accept the award if we won. So me, Duff, and our girlfriends all got drunk and flipped on down there after a stop at Carl's Jr. We had third row seats and the show was really cheesy and boring. We were smoking and drinking wine and all of a sudden we won this award. We weren't ready for it. I don't know what I said on stage, but there weren't too many F's in it. Then we went backstage and I met Lenny Kravitz, which was cool, but Prince blew us off. He didn't think we were what he would call good company." Years after the appearance, Slash was interviewed on Fuse TV, where he claimed because of his and Duff's antics that night, the 7-second rule came into effect on live TV. Is that a true statement? Well, yes and no. On one hand, the American Music Awards didn't have a delay on their live broadcasts up until that point in time, but because of Slash and Duff's action that night, they did institute a delay on future live broadcasts. But the actual 7-second delay dated back to the 50s and 60s during the early days of radio. According to Loudwire.com, it was invented by an engineer who worked out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Television, for its part, wouldn't see the live delay being instituted until 1975 on the NBC show Saturday Night Live, when comedian Richard Pryor hosted the show. The network wanted to be able to cut out profanity-laden content so they wouldn't be fined by the federal government. Guns N' Roses, for their part, would end up making an appearance at the American Music Awards in 1992 to perform their single Yesterdays. The band wasn't in the venue that night, instead broadcasting their performance from a live show in Vegas. The band would also win an award that night, and a drunk Slash would cut a pre-taped segment accepting the award without any profanities. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.